Hi, scientists! Today is the last day of our Sun, Moon, Stars unit. You have worked so hard to learn about our sky in the day and the night during this unit, and today we're going to finish with my favorite part, the phases of the moon. Let's start with a chant. Our Luna Luna chant, our changing moon chant, is all about the phases of the moon. Chant along with me when you're ready. Luna, Luna is my name. Changing phases is my game. Reflecting the sun's light when I can, since I create none of my own light, man. As the new moon, I can't be seen, although I'm still there in between. So remember, in the new moon, it looks like the moon is totally dark. We can't see it. I start waxing as more light reflects. A crescent moon is next. I look like a banana at this phase, becoming a quarter moon in a few days. So after the new moon, a little more light begins to be reflected off the moon from the sun, and it looks like a banana. We call this a waxing crescent. Within a few days, a little more light is shown on the moon, and we get our first quarter moon. Luna, Luna is my name. Changing phases is my game. At first quarter moon, it looks like half. It sounds so weird, I almost laugh. The gibbous moon becomes more lit, leaving only a small portion unlit. So after the first quarter moon, a little more light, a little more of the moon is shown with the waxing gibbous. So notice now there's only a little part that's not lit up. The full moon reflects the most sun. I look like a face, which is fun. The waxing for 2 weeks is complete, now waning to disappear, then repeat. So after the waxing gibbous, where you can see almost the whole near side of the moon, we get to see the full moon, which is wonderful to see in the sky when the whole part of the moon that's facing us is lit up like a big, beautiful ball of light. That's the full moon. But then the light starts to fade again. And this is called the waning gibbous. So it went from being fully bright to starting to fade just a little bit. Now the other side looks dark. Luna, Luna is my name. Changing phases is my game. So after the waning gibbous, we have the last quarter, where this time the other half of the moon is dark. And finally, the waning crescent, where there's only a little bit lit. And then the process starts over again. And we have the new moon, where it's totally dark. And then it starts over again. The waxing crescent, the first quarter, the waxing gibbous, the full moon, the waning gibbous, the last quarter, the waning crescent, and the new moon, and on it goes. Scientists, today in your science folder, you're going to see this page, Learning the Moon's Phases. It says, did you know that the moon is different every night? It grows from a thin crescent to full moon, then shrinks back to a crescent every month. That's because the moon rotates around the Earth, just like it shows in the picture. Here's the moon changing as it goes around the Earth. The moon rotates around the Earth, and the sun's light gets reflected off of the moon at different angles. Remember that the moon does not make its own light. It gets its light from the sun. There are 8 phases of the moon, and they're labeled below. So we start with our new moon where we can't see it, and then we see a little bit of light in the crescent. We see half of the moon in the half moon, then a little bit in the 3/4 moon or the gibbous, and then we see the full moon. And then we see the 3/4 moon or the waning gibbous, another half, another crescent, and then the new moon. In this sheet, you are going to, in the empty circles that are the moon, you're going to draw how the moon looks in each phase. And then you're going to color in the sun and the earth. And you're going to cut out this diagram and you're going to glue it into your science notebook. Let me show you. So in the new moon, the sun looks completely black. So I'm going to use a dark color, maybe like black or gray, to color it in. Then in the crescent moon, there's just a little bit. This is also called the waxing crescent because the light is starting to come on. But the rest of it still looks dark. Then in the next phase, half of the moon is lit up and half is dark. And that's sometimes called the first quarter moon, or it can be called a half moon. Different scientists call it different things, or there are many names for the same phase. Next, you have the 3/4 moon, or the waxing gibbous. In the waxing gibbous, most of the moon is lit up. Just a little sliver. Finally, during the full moon, the whole moon, at least the part we can see, the near side, is bright light. A few days later, we have what's called a 3/4 moon, or the waning gibbous, where the light is starting to disappear. It's mostly light, but a little dark. Then we have another half moon, or last quarter moon. Now notice that this time the light is coming from the other direction. So it was on this side during the first half moon, and it's on this side for the second half moon. Do you see how the light goes around? Finally, we have the waning crescent moon, where there's just a sliver of light left and the rest of the moon looks dark. And then the new moon again. Now I'm going to color my earth and my sun, and I'm going to cut out my drawing. So I'm going to chop off the bottom and kind of make like a little square. Right up to the top. So just cut off the extra white part on the side so that it will fit in my notebook. Now I'm going to the very next spot in my science notebook. I want to make sure I have page numbers, but this is not going to fit on page 6, so I'm going to go to page 7, and this is where I'm going to glue. So it's nice and neat, it's not going on to the next page, and I'm going to make sure to write page 7 on the bottom. Notice how I made sure that my page fit on my page, and I wrote page 7. Now I will put my entire science notebook in my Mrs. Norton folder to show Mrs. Norton my science work.